They don't want to know what's actually going on. They're getting flooded with information that is false. We are in a post-truth society, and this is terrifying. That's why I care about it. Hey guys, welcome to Too Personal. I'm Joy Taylor. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow us on social at Too Personal Show. I almost said the Daily Play. You can check out the Daily Play as well. That's my other show. That's the sports show. Follow us at Too Personal Show. And thanks for hanging out with us today. I have been traveling for the past couple weeks. I was in Rome. I was in Florence. I was in Venice. I was in New York. I was in Dominican Republic. That hasn't hit socials yet. We are behind on our content. But it was an amazing trip. I love to travel. It is my other passion other than sports and talking shit. And I just love seeing the world. It always changes my perspective. It always teaches me something new. And I'm just a curious person. So it was an amazing trip and I learned a lot and had a great time. Had a wedding in Rome. Rome is one of my favorite cities in the world. It has a bad rap. I don't know why. It's actually really incredible. And it was my first time in Florence and Venice, which I absolutely loved. It was also my first time in Dominican Republic. So I think I'm at 28 countries now. Might be 29. But it was great to check another country off of the list, and it was a beautiful place. But a lot has happened over the past week, and we have to get into it. So, Haley, what are we talking about first today?
Got quite a few things to talk about, but what I really want to get into first is this 60-minute Scott Pelley story. Now, you know I live on different side of the internet, Joy.
You do. I also am going to need you talking to the mic because I think you're too far away.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Scott Pelley is, so you guys don't, well, Specs, you know about this. Yes. Haley did not know about this. And I think a lot of people do not appreciate the gravity of this situation. So veteran CBS journalist Scott Pelley was fired from 60 Minutes after nearly 40 years at CBS. And his fire came amid a major upheaval at CBS News following leadership changes under the Paramount Skydance merger conglomerates situation. So a lot is happening in media. Paramount Skydance is one of them. There's a lot of these conglomerates that are coming together, ownerships, they're making sweeping changes of the news business. I am a trained journalist. I went to university for broadcast journalism. I studied journalism. I always say I'm not an acting journalist. I'm not a practicing journalist because journalism to me is the bedrock of society, of a functioning society. Having a space where you can go to the adult in the room who has through years of integrity and consistency shown that they can be a trusted source of news and unbiased, unbought information is so important. It is the cornerstone of democracy to be able to criticize your government, to be able to get real information to the people, and to allow the public to do with that information, that real information, what they see as correct and see as fair to them. 60 Minutes is not a program that I am watching every single time it's on, but if there's something that I want to know about, and I know I'm going to get a real interview about it, I'm going to get a research journalist who has integrity, who's going to ask the real questions. This person's not going to go on there with an agenda and be able to outsmart the interviewer. They're going to get pushback. They're going to have to defend their position. That is a place that I would go. The fact that he was fired, the fact that he is no longer there, as somebody who has been and worked in the news for as long as he has and been a respected voice in the news for 40 years, is extremely scary to me. When I was in college studying broadcasting, I had this incredible professor. And she was always pushing me, Connie Hicks. She was a legendary Miami investigative reporter. She had put her life on the line multiple times to uncover local stories in Miami, to bring real news to the people. She wanted me to be an investigative journalist. She was like, you have the guts for this. Like, you could do this. You could really change the world with your investigative journalism. I know you have it in you. And I was like, I want to talk about sports and entertainment. Like, I'm not really that serious of a person. I think it's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a journalist. It's like being a teacher or being a lawyer or being a judge or being a doctor. Like, there's an oath that you take to the people that you work with when you're in one of those positions. And journalism is like that. That's why when someone calls themselves a journalist and they're not a journalist, it pisses me off, because it's not that you have to be a trained journalist in order to be a journalist, but you do have to practice integrity at a very high level in order to be a journalist, in order to call yourself that. So I don't call myself that, even though I do act in journalistic spaces and I am trained as an actual journalist. One of the things that pushed me off being a journalist at that level in that way, as an investigative journalist or working in heavy, serious news, was we were talking about a story where there was an investigation about all the kids that were disappearing at Disneyland. Now you would think Disneyland's a safe place for kids. Why have I never heard of this? And I asked her about it, and she was like, well, the Disney is owned by ABC, and the reporter that did this investigation works for ABC. And I was like, so I can do that? Like, what do you mean? How's that work? Like, I'm the public. I want to know if my kid is safe at Disney. Why is that fair? And she was like, yeah, these companies are owned, these news companies are owned by corporations. And I was like, so I'm going to do all this work and it's just going to go away because it might hurt the bottom line? Even if it's something that the public should know, that's not a space I want to participate in. And that's the space that Scott Pelley has been fighting in for 40 years, to push through that level of bureaucracy and bullshit to bring the public the real news and information. So when we no longer have adults like that in the room, and we no longer have programs being produced by adults in the room, and those programs are lasting on their pristine reputation to then be manipulated by the government, we are fucked. That is how Russia operates. That's how North Korea operates. That's how China operates. That's how Cuba operates. Those are all supposed to be spaces we don't align with. And yet, here we are, allowing our institutions, allowing our governments, and allowing these corporations to pollute every line of real information and news that possibly exists. Everyone just wants to be shoveled shit into their mouth every fucking day. They don't want to know what's actually going on. They're getting flooded with information that is false. We are in a post-truth society, and this is fucking terrifying. That's why I care about it.
That's a lot. That's a lot. No, in all seriousness, when I was listening and watching the interview, I was like, you forget, because so many people have a camera and a microphone, that there are people actually doing real journalist work, reporting in real places where there's war happening, they're amongst fires, hurricanes. Like, you don't see it. All you see is clips of the new reporter who is not a reporter and not have any training.
No, and that's what journalism is. My best friend Janice is an anchor at Channel 10 in Miami. She has been to the Vatican to cover the Pope. She has been to protests. She has done reporter work for years before she was ever in Miami. She has been sent to the center of hurricanes multiple times. One time she was stuck in the Bahamas. We didn't even know if she was alive. Like, people have to go to those places. People have to go to war to cover war. They are not soldiers, as he said in the interview, but they are putting their lives on the line to bring us the news back home of what is actually happening. And we are putting and daring to put people who are not only unqualified, but are completely bought and paid for with no journalistic integrity at all in spaces to give us that information. That should terrify all of us, because you have to have a place where you're actually knowing what's going on. We are so distracted with everything, and I get it. You've got to escape sometimes. You've got to talk about some bullshit. You've got to watch a cheap show. I'm there with you, and I do the same thing. But it is important still that journalism exists. If you cannot criticize the government, if you cannot criticize the president, if you cannot tell real stories about things that are going to affect you and the health of your family and the safety of your family, we are fucked. Like, we're just in a totalitarian, authoritarian, communist dictatorship, any of those spaces you want to pick, that's what we're living in. Because if you can't criticize the government, if you don't have a free news media, we are just being told what to think. And we will think it because we will have no other way of getting the information. Specs, what do you think?
I think it's just a continuation of like the Jimmy Fallon. No, was it Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel? The Jimmy Kimmel situation. Like these higher entities have begun to just not play the game the right way because of honestly Trump. Like he's convinced people that like you can do whatever you want to do. Like it's hard for me to believe that this man that's been working for 60 Minutes for this long be fired for some background stuff that we don't necessarily know about, and then to get replaced with who they replacing them with. I know money talks, but I feel like this is saying more than it's leading it to.
It's of course about money, but it's more about control. It's more about putting voices in spaces where they can control the voice and tell the voice what to say. And he couldn't be bought. He was like, I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to let you tell lies on my name, basically. Like my reputation matters, integrity matters, and like the American people matter more than me sitting here and continuing to be on this show. And the fact that he is willing to walk away from that, like, yes, he was fired, but he also was fired because he stood up and said, I'm not going to just go, I'm not on the get along gang. Like, I'm going to challenge leadership, and there's no editorial independence here, and that's not okay with me. It's really, really fucking scary. All right. Well, what else we got?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
I know you were out, vacationing over the weekend and last week, but did you see the sex tape?
I watched some sex tapes, but I don't think I saw the sex tape.
So a sex tape has been leaked featuring Diddy, Daphne Joy, and an adult star named Sly Diggler.
Okay.
The internet obviously went crazy. Lots of comments, lots of conversations pertaining to Diddy's size.
Okay.
There's many things going on.
Penis size.
Penis size, yes.
Okay.
It was on show, or not much of. 50 obviously jumped in the conversation, as we know he will. He actually put out a statement that said, she's not a victim, Zaire is. Can you imagine going to 8th grade to find out this is your mom? The court system in LA thinks it's fine. Daphne put out a statement that was later deleted, essentially, playing the victim role. She doesn't recognize the person in that video. Now, for the record, this sex tape was an attempt to blackmail her sometime before.
Okay. So the sex tape came out because
it was just leaked.
It was leaked. Okay.
Once the media company got word that this was like revenge porn years ago, they deaded it. It was never going to come out. They wanted her to give a lump sum of money, the whole situation. She knew in the back of her mind this could come out one day. Well, the day was last week. So it's out. She puts out this statement. She said, seeing myself so lost is excruciating. I just want to hold that girl in the room and get her out of there and tell her that that wasn't love and she didn't need to do this for love. My heart is breaking as I type this. Okay. Here are my questions, my thoughts.
Okay.
Not saying she's not a victim or saying she is. Clearly, this statement is her talking about being a victim, right? She was forced to be this way. Mind you, Diddy's watching in this video. So it's her
so Diddy's not participating.
No.
So Diddy's the cuck in this video. Okay.
Like a sex assistant.
So he is participating?
And he's filming.
He's filming. Okay.
There's many things going on. It's like 40 minutes long.
Oh!
Yeah.
Who the fuck has 40 minutes?
So here's where I'm confused. Obviously, we know allegedly Diddy was giving her about $10K a month, right? When they were together amongst their couple-year-long relationship. Goes to jail, or that stops.
Right.
That's when she kind of starts getting more sexy on regular social media, like IG, not just OF.
And she's on OnlyFans.
She is.
Okay.
So she puts this statement out. Okay. So everyone's like supposed to feel bad for her. Then she goes to Instagram stories, puts out a poll. Size really matter. Starts playing into it. Turns up the content on Instagram. Then has a Black Friday sale on OF, $3.99. See what's on there.
Okay.
I got a trial. I won't lie to you. I was curious. Nothing but what's on Instagram. It's a scam. She does an interview with academics. I'm like, okay, maybe she wants to tell a story, you know, that whatever. Not in court anymore. No, she just seduced him the whole time. So my question is, if this has happened to you in said situation that you were forced in during this relationship, why take to the internet, make such a statement, but then do the same similar activities on the internet and charge people for them, but then say that you don't recognize this woman and you're trying to evolve and change and be free, and then go seduce academics in an interview? I don't get it.
That's a lot. I will say this. I would die if a sex tape came out. Die. I would die. Like, it would probably end me. I do not have the capacity. Yeah, I just would not. I would be so fucking upset. I would not be making money off of that. So, but I also know, unless someone recorded me without my consent,
right, I
know pretty much every piece of material that exists, and I would know who it was with. Mm-hmm. There are certainly times in past relationships where I have done things because the person that I loved did not love me and coerced me into doing things that I would never do today. And that I can relate to what she wrote. However, it is weird to then capitalize off of it. And from 50's perspective, he's saying that because they have a son together.
They do, and he's in 8th grade.
Yeah. That is horrifying. The thought of my son in 8th grade knowing that there is a sex tape that was released, but also she has a son and she's on OnlyFans.
That's my thing. Like,
so there's a lot going on.
Listen, if you want to get your money, get your money. But as a mom myself, I was in the situation where I had an OF. I would not be publicly advertising. It'd be like if you know, you know. Type of thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think if she is, here's what I will say. If she knew that this tape existed and that someone had it and had the intention of eventually distributing it, then the conversations have to be had with everyone that could possibly be harmed from it. Right. That would be my takeaway from it. Like we have to have the conversation with my 8th grade son in the way that it just has to happen. Like, those things happened and I was a different person, and you know, those are choices that you make, and they can come back to haunt you. Like, that's the reality of having children.
I don't know.
That's a lot. So the internet's
the
internet's upset about it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
After watching the academics interview, I feel like she's giving tutorials. To be honest.
I will never watch a celebrity sex tape. I have never seen a celebrity sex tape. I've not seen Kim's. I have seen, like, obviously, like, clips or shots you know, unsolicited come across my desk, but I have never intentionally, like, watched anyone's sex tape. Not Paris, not Kim, not Pamela Anderson. When the big, like, celebrity nude leak happened, I did not look at any of them. I don't believe in that because certainly the nude leak was non-consensual. So I think it's very weird to look at someone's nudes if they didn't consent for it to be made public. Like, that's crazy. And the excuse of, like, oh, well, if you didn't want it to be public, like, don't take it. Like, the fuck? I can take a nude photo and send it to my man. That's not me giving you consent to hack my phone and put it on the internet.
No,
fuck is wrong with y'all? So I don't believe in looking at those things. The ones that are consensually put out, you know, do what you want. They obviously did not care, or they wouldn't have put it out.
Right.
But the ones that are non-consensually put out, it does not sit right with me. And also, even though I know it would never happen, I would hope that if something non-consensually came out about me, that the people who cared about me would not look at it,
I agree.
which I know would not happen. It's
And
like,
you would not be going to academics to have a conversation about it either.
no, I'm not gonna be discussing. I'm not just, if I have a sex tape, I don't know how I will react. I know I won't be doing interviews about it, but I don't know how I will react. I don't also have like a sex tape.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean,
It would just
40
be like,
minutes.
no, I don't have a 40-minute recording.
20
Again,
seconds,
unless it was taken
15.
against my consent. There ain't 40 minutes of me having sex anywhere, okay? I'm not having sex for 40 minutes. Get the fuck out of here. What type of drugs am I on? Absolutely not. You've got 12 minutes tops, okay? Fucking crazy.
40 minutes is a long time.
40 minutes? Get the fuck out of here. So that's AI. But if a clip came out of me having sex, like that's something that like me and my partner at that time like took on that phone. And like it would have had to been hacked. Otherwise that person's dead.
Had to.
So.
No way.
What else is going on?
No way. Ivanka Trump.
Ah!
I'm just gonna quote her because I feel like this is what really hits. We were on a friend's boat and we stopped for a swim. Effectively, that's how we found it. We swam to the island. We went on a hike barefoot all the way up to the top, and we were just captivated. She told a U.S.-based podcaster, David Senra, earlier this week, bringing the attention of many in Albania and beyond. So she, in her mind, has discovered an island that no one existed, that has been there many, many years. Now a real estate development project in the works.
This Christopher Columbus ass bitch, it truly like is colonizer blood. Like it's crazy. How did you discover Albania, bitch? The fuck are you talking about? These people talk like everyone is fucking stupid. This is a whole ass country talking about untouched. Bitch, there's a military, it was used for military, like there's military stuff on the island. There's like tunnels. What the fuck is the term I'm looking for? I'm trying to remember what the fuck I'm saying. Perimenopause is kicking my ass. There is it's a fucking, oh, this is the Albania mob. That part.
Now your algorithm.
It's like an army base?
Yeah, it's like an army base.
Yeah.
It's a Cold War communist military base on that island. Untouched what? It's a fucking military base with tunnels and infrastructure on the islands. You didn't discover anything. This is a fucking corrupt sell-off of a piece of land from the Albanian government to the Trump family. The space controls a specific strait between Italy and Albania. You're not fooling no fucking body. This isn't the new world. This is 2026. No one's discovering islands anymore, my guy. There's fucking satellites. We got shit on Mars. You're not popping off on an island like, oh my God, this has never been discovered. The entire world is mapped. There's a fucking Google Map app. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Well, luxury resort coming soon.
Dog, shut the fuck up. This untouched island. Untouched is so fucking crazy. Bitch, what are you talking about?
Insane.
There's literally a military base on the island. It is very much touched. The Albanian people are rioting about this, by the way, which is of no surprise to me because let me tell you something. If any one of you ever tell me that you got beef with Albanians, you on your fucking own. Don't call me no more. You don't know me, okay? I am not participating in no Albanian beef. Respect, okay? Please, like, don't bring me into it. I'm not pulling up. Like how you said earlier, Haley, that if I call you, I'm like, yo, I got some beef with Albanians. Stay your ass home.
Hanging up the phone.
Just click. Who is this? I don't know you. Don't fucking call me. They are so fucked. The Albanian people are literally like, bitch, no, you're not. Bitch, I wish you would. This is not happening. They gonna burn that bitch to the ground. So now everyone's saying that they're basically building this to be like Epstein Island too because of the infrastructure that already exists on this island that's untouched and discovered. Imagine Ivanka Trump discovering anything. Self-awareness is what you should discover. This is a fucking insane story to me. It's really like they really play in our faces like everyone around the world is dumb as fuck and like everyone around the world is American. Y'all about to find out Albanians and Americans ain't the same type of people.
They're trying to say that the boat was a Rothschild's boat.
Yeah.
That was the yacht that they were on. They were with
they were with their friends swimming in the Adriatic. Bitch, you went on a tour of a retired military base in Albania. You lucky you came back. You lucky you came back. Let me tell you something. You know what the fuck I'm not doing? If you told me I'm getting on a billionaire's boat, a Rothschild's boat, to go to Albania and go to a untouched island, I'm gonna have to decline that invite. I have enough adventure in my life. I am not going to fuck with no Albanian people shit. Leave them alone. Low key though, I kind of don't want them to, because let me tell you something. I don't know you. If you got beef with Albanians, I don't know. I never knew you. I do not know that person. Mr. Albania, I don't know that person. I don't know her. I've never met her in my life. Whatever you got to do it. I don't want no beef. Zero beef. What else is going on?
So I was on my algorithm and I came across a reel by my girl, light-skinned Keisha. And she essentially was saying in a video that if you're in a good relationship, a good man, how mindful you should be about what you share with your single friends, right? She goes on to say that not every friend understands love, commitment, longevity, all of the things. You should be setting boundaries. They can bring in toxic thoughts and behaviors in your relationship. So this really got my mind going. And I've been thinking about it ever since. The one thing that stood out was when she said, some people can only give advice from the world that they live in, not the one that you're building. In that, I can't get it out of my head because I've been on both sides of it. And I know you have as well. So I just really want to get your take on this.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there is some truth to that. I do think at some point in your life, you should have friends who are well-rounded enough to either know when to speak on something and when to be quiet. Like, I don't get involved in my married friend's business with their husband. I don't do nothing more than ask how are they doing?
Was that a boundary they set or you?
No, I don't. That's not my business. You are married. This is not, I'm not in married people's business. Because the thing about married people's business is it's not mine.
Fact.
And I don't know the nuance. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. As long as my friend is not being harmed, that's not my business. Whatever they want to share with me is sacred, and they can share what they want to share. I am not involving myself in married people's business. I have been married. I have been single. I have been in serious relationships. I have been in toxic relationships. I can give advice across the board, but I don't need to give unsolicited advice. Unless that person is absolutely bombarding me with constant problems and I have to be like, bitch, the problem is you. Like, then I'm just not doing that. I do think that like at some point in your life, you have to have friends who are on the same level as you, no matter what the situation is, even if you're not married. And I also think if you take your relationship seriously, you shouldn't be sharing everything about your partner with your friends anyway. You shouldn't be sharing every argument. You shouldn't be sharing every disagreement. You might have one friend that you vent to that you know is gonna be able to see through those things. But the more that you share, the more energy you open up to other people. And if you don't have strong friends around you who respect your boundaries, really without you even having to ask, or really even having to establish boundaries, you probably don't have great friends around you. Like, I don't have toxic friends. I don't have a single friend that I'm like, damn, like they got some shit going on with them. I don't have time for that. People go through chapters, of course, but like a weekend, not a fucking habit. It's not your personality. I don't have a friend that I can't leave my man around. Like, what the fuck type of shit is that? I'm almost 40 years old. I'm worried about a friend around my man? Hell no. So I do understand what she's saying. I do, but what I would say further than that is you should have friends that you don't even have to establish that type of shit with. And also you should not be sharing too much about your relationship, particularly if you're married. It's not anyone's business. Like, you can vent that they don't close the fucking cupboard doors. I don't know what men's deal is with closing drawers. That shit drives me fucking crazy. Like, you can vent about shit like that. But the whole you should not be dumping everything on your friends anyway.
No, you can't. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, and so have I. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone has. But I just think it's more just general. I would agree with her, but I do think it's more general advice to have friends that are on the same level as you. Like, you can have single friends when you're married, but what are your single friends doing? Are they acting like 20-year-olds, or are they, dating seriously, or are they not dating? Have they been divorced? Like, are they on the same level as you mentally, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually? Like, are they aligned and doing things with good energy? If you keep toxic people around you, it doesn't matter whether you share or not. They're going to permeate into your existence and your relationships one way or another. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's more about just having good, solid people around you than it is necessarily like, what was her quote?
Some people can only give advice from the world that they live in, not the one you're building.
Yeah. And I think that's also, that really tends to skew young to me. Like, when you are just getting married and you're like in your early 30s, or you're in your, mid to late 20s, you're still learning yourself. You're still building your career. You're still discovering like what you stand for and stand on. You're going through a lot of changes. I think once you get to a certain place in life where you are pretty formed and not making these like massive growths, if that's how you consistently are, you shouldn't be around. And also, like, don't get advice from everybody. Like, stop doing that. I don't ask for advice from everyone. There are people who I adore that I will only ask for advice on like very fucking specific things. There are people I know I can ask for advice on basically everything. And that doesn't mean I ask them for advice either. Like, stop needing constant feedback. You don't need constant feedback. I promise you don't. The more feedback you get, the more distracted you get. You have to at some point find a way to trust your gut and to solicit advice from people that, again, are on your same energetic level. What a week. A lot of shit going on.
A lot.
Discovering new lands. AKA a whole fucking country called Albania. So crazy. You know how happy I was when I found out it was Albania? Oh my God. Because at first I was like, this bitch, where the fuck did they go? Discovering a new island. That sounds exciting. On Earth? Not so, lady. They've all been accounted for. That's how that works. All right. Time to get to Never Too Personal. If you want to be a part of the show, you can email us toopersonalpodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us, Too Personal Show. This question is, why do some people feel threatened when someone else chooses to live openly and authentically? I believe this is referring to Pride Month.
I would assume so.
Yeah, it's Pride Month. It's Pride Month. Of course, every time Pride Month comes up, I lose thousands of followers. And people get very upset that I support the gay community, and people do get very threatened by people who are out and open about their queerness. And Pride Month really upsets the evangelicals, which makes me like it even more. I have been around gay people pretty much my entire life. I had an uncle that was gay. Some of my best friends from childhood, my next door neighbor, best friend for 16 years. So many people like in my family. And I feel very lucky that I got the education and the proximity to the gay community, because it didn't just make me an ally, because I would have been an ally regardless, but I think it also is important that you are educated in a lot of different spaces. And when it comes to gay people, there's this idea that it's like a new liberal thing to be, not just to be gay, but to be out and gay. And I always like wonder if people can read books because so like
don't read.
read one page of one book, not called the Holy Bible. And homosexuality was added to the Bible, if we want to get like really technical. There have been gay people since the beginning of time. Ancient civilizations. Long before Snapchats, okay? Long before crazy liberals. Long before fake news. Long before feminism. Long before Pride Month. Long before rainbow flags. There have always been gay people. And in a lot of societies, that meant nothing. It wasn't anti-religious. It was just a part, and still is. There are plenty of societies where there are multiple genders, and it is ancient to be that way. And it is not applauded or looked down upon. It is what it is. It's just a reality. I think that it threatens people because we have been indoctrinated as a religious society in a lot of different religious spaces to believe things that were fabricated. And when it comes to Christianity, which I speak on the most because it's how I was raised, I find the othering of gay people to be my easiest out. The othering of women is an obvious out for me. But that happens in so many different spaces that aren't even just religious, that it's going to be a lifelong fight. But saying that someone is going to hell for the way that they were born it's just an easy way for me to say I don't want to participate. This is not for me. You can't tell me that people that I love have no chance of going to heaven because they are married to a man. I don't give a fuck about your religion then. I think it's threatening to people. I can't understand why. I don't really care why. I think anyone who believes they're better than someone else simply because of the way that they're born is an underdeveloped human in their brain, in their spirit, in their ability to understand the world. And, you know, I know I've been told like I speak down to people too much, like I'm too uppity and all that. Is that the thing now? I can't help it on this topic. I just don't care. I will never stop supporting the gay community, gay people. I don't even like thinking of it as being an ally or supporting. It's not something I've never thought of being like a supporter. I'm just a human being who loves other human beings. And I know it's not at all that simple because these communities are marginalized and abused and tortured and held out of things and have rights taken away and are murdered constantly. So you do have to be an ally and an active ally at that, in the way that I want people to be an ally for women, in the way that I want people to be an ally for Black women. So yeah, I don't know. You know, the question is, why do people feel threatened? I think it's because it's an unknown. And then it becomes easier to say, well, I don't have any experience with this and I've been told that it's bad, so therefore it is bad. And then again, rather than just reading a book, which would clear up so many things, they default to, again, what's told to them, which is that this is all a result of the queer agenda or the gay agenda, that people are teaching people to be gay. And, you know, anytime anyone says that, I know that person's gay.
Yeah. Pretty much.
You're gay. If you're saying that people are teaching people to be gay, that means you taught yourself to be straight.
It really shouldn't matter. Ridiculous.
I mean, has it ever been a thought in your mind of whether you're straight or not?
No, I just like what I like. Innate.
You didn't have to teach yourself to like men.
No.
You just like men. Specs, did you have to have an instruction manual on liking women? You did not. because you're not gay. So what these people are telling us, and they absolutely don't realize it, is that they're very gay. And people be gay.
And it's okay.
People be gay. So that's my answer to that question, which I think they were talking about.
We're gonna run with that. We're gonna run with that.
We're gonna go with it. If you want to be a part of the show, email us toopersonalpodcast@gmail.com. Give it up for Specs and Haley today. Woo! Thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow us on social. Too Personal Show.